The 2013 Lahad Datu standoff arose when over 200 Sulu insurgents from Tawi-Tawi, a region in southern Philippines, landed on the shores of Sabah on the 11th of February. The insurgents, branding themselves as the Royal Security Forces of the Sultanate of Sulu and North Borneo, were sent by Jamalul Kiram. Their mission is to assert their territorial claim over eastern Sabah. Since then, Malaysian security forces comprising of the Royal Malaysian Police and Royal Malaysian Army have surrounded Kampung Tenduo in Lahad Datu and held several operations in Semporna. From the 1st of March until the 7th of March, 51 Sulu insurgents, 8 police personnel and a civilian have lost their lives. Today we're joined by Professor Dr Aruna Gopinath, a senior fellow at the National Defence University of Malaysia in Kuala Lumpur, and has been a visiting professor at several prestigious universities including Oxford and Cambridge. And she's an expert in internal politics and also the issues concerning stateless masses in Sabah. So Doctor, with the insurgency in Lahad Datu and Semporna, did you foresee that? Was it like a ticking time bomb?
See, these Filipinos are very clever. You know, what happens is that from time to time when they realize they want something, they can stage anything, right? Now it's election time for us. They realize if they want anything, this is the best time to move in. Now, Sulu itself, you go back, it is now part of the autonomous region of Muslim Mindanao. Now, my question, as I mentioned yesterday in the papers also, why isn't the MILF doing anything? You know, because we brokered the peace process and they came to us for help. And we said, okay, we will help them facilitating in the peace deal. Now it is through. But I also mentioned that not all the dissident groups were brought in. There's only one party we have dealt with, the MILF, the Moro Islamic Liberation Front, which is now headed by Eid Murad. Now, actually, if you go back to history again, 1970s, during the time of martial law, is when the Moro National Liberation Front was formed by Miswari.
Apart from the Sultan of Sulu's loyalists, do you think other stateless residents in Sabah, especially Filipino origin, do they play a role in the insurgency?
Yeah, because you see, during the martial law itself, during the time of Tun Mustafa, when he was Chief Minister of Sabah, that time about 3,000 moved in, and he allowed them to stay because he said, of course, they are my people and they'll all go back when the situation is better. But then more and more came, and by the time 2000, if you look at the numbers, it was 850,000. And we had to set up a department called a Department of Displaced Persons. But most of them, what they did, they married the locals. So when you marry a local, you can be a permanent resident, you are eligible for citizenship. But here there's no stipulation that you have to remain 5 years or more before you get, as you like, you know, you could get it. And that's where our problem started. We allowed all this to just run through our fingers, you know. Now, whether the stateless will join them, yes, because why not? They have got nothing to lose. At the same time, the dissident groups who did not have a play in the MILF peace deal also will come in. Abu Sayyaf waited for a few more days. They'll also join forces. They'll say, what have we got to lose? You know, we'll all join up and, you know, see whether we can. It's a do or die thing, you know, because they are Tausuks. Tausuks are very, very brave. They don't care. They'll kill in order to get what they want.
So if the government set up a clearer path to citizenship for the stateless in Sabah, would they have assimilated into mainstream Malaysian culture? They become a part of us.
I don't know whether it's a right thing for us to say that if you give somebody a citizenship, automatically he'll have his loyalty towards us. Loyalty comes, you know, it's a long process. Huh? Either you're born in that country and you feel this new country has offered you more than what your country of birth has, you know. So, quick measures by suddenly giving a citizenship and then expecting loyalty, I think it's not an easy game. because not everybody will fall for it. Most of them who fall for it will be for some gains in the end. But true loyalty, no. It is over years.
So it's been established that porous borders and also the lack of security has contributed to the influx of stateless. So do you think that this is actually organized negligence on the part of the government? Do you think they're doing this? Or?
I think we have overlooked it. Not to say that we haven't taken measures. We did at many points. We have all the countries like Thailand, Indonesia, Philippines, we have all been very, very concerned about this. Like when you talk to the Indonesian, those who are in the security, who handle security problems, they tell me corruption is very high. So for money, even those who are patrolling will allow. They don't mind getting, the money. So for Indonesia, that became a very big problem, So they had to do something, how to increase the salaries of these naval patrols and all, so that they won't fall prey to all these groups. We too have to take all this into consideration, because of Thailand, nearby Thailand, and then Indonesia and Philippines. It's just a few, just hopping over. So we have to be very, very aggressive from now on and be very strict about, how we are going to determine that the countries will have to sit together and work out plans, because if we don't want more intruders to step in, then I think this has to be taken into consideration. See, borders both land and sea is so porous. Land also, you just all the way you can move, right? Even the same thing with now a sea now. So I think we have to take very strong steps towards trying to see how we can avert this problem.
So do you see that the stateless or residents in Sabah, do you see them as refugees?
We don't. Yes, actually, the word is refugee. If you go back to the whole concept itself, they're actually refugees. When somebody comes and stays in your land, he's a refugee until such time when he'll be sent back. Right. But these people are refusing to go home because they have better opportunities in this place. So they will try to stay on.
So basically you're saying that it's mostly because of economic reasons?
Yes, economic reasons, because the poverty is so high, and it is impossible, when they see, even if I've talked to, because my area is also on terrorism, I've worked in the jungles of Mindanao, and when I speak to the youngsters of those who carry arms in both the Abu Sayyaf group or the MILF, and I ask them, why aren't you in college? They're only 18, 19, 20, and you should be, studying, and why are you carrying arms? And they say, when we go hungry for days, what do you expect? So what does an individual want at the end of the day? A roof over his head, change of clothes, perhaps 2 pairs, and food. But when the food is denied him, he has no recourse,
So would you say, like, up until now, the authorities have misread the entire situation? No, I mean, did they wrongly see it? Did they not think it would get so bad?
I think they never took it seriously, Even when the fellas landed on the 12th, you see, we allowed them to stay there, use the facilities. We should, at that day itself, rounded them up and said, look, you have to go back. We can't, we should have just, arrested them and kept them somewhere. How can you just come and you stay in some long house there and use it like as though it's your own? I mean, we allow too many things. And that is when they realize, okay, we can be here as long as we want, So first day itself, we should have taken some move. But I think we never took it so seriously that they are going to wage war on us, So I think that is where the mistake comes in. Okay, we all learn from mistakes.
I think that'll be all for today. Thank you so much for joining us.